The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
About 10 minutes away from Cage the Elephant. Tickets are coming up at 8 o'clock here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So keep giving out the free stuff. The Alkaline Trio tickets, we got a couple pair there. We have our winners. We'll have more of those next week as well. And Cage the Elephant, 8 o'clock here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Now, Kara Caribou filling in for Kenzie on maternity leave. She has a daughter and a son.
Yes. Thank you. That's tough for you to figure out.
I was trying to figure out what you say.
2 humans, one's female, one's male.
I should have said 2 kids.
Yeah.
Your 18-year-old son got a ticket, 2 tickets for doing this in his car, parked. And people, I've never heard of this before. If you park your car, I figure, and you're in it, you're fine. Whatever's going on.
Unless you're doing something illegal.
Yeah, unless you're doing something really illegal.
Yeah.
Really illegal, not just illegal.
Yeah. I don't know if they would get you for smoking weed in your car anymore. That's legal, right?
No, you're supposed to not do it in public places or in your car. You're supposed to be in your house, I think.
Okay, and I'm not saying you should ever smoke weed and drive because that's as bad as drinking and
Exactly.
driving. It really is. I know people are out there doing it and whatever, but, don't do it.
We don't like it.
You shouldn't be under the influence of anything. When
That's
you drive.
correct, in operating machinery. Okay, don't do that. But your son, I don't know if he smokes weed.
Let's not talk. I don't know about that.
Okay,
But that's not what he was doing.
Okay, forget about that. He wasn't doing that. He's a good boy.
Yes,
He's a hockey
very good
player.
boy. Yeah.
He's a good boy.
He's a nice kid.
He was in his car.
He is.
And people have guessed things like he was parked with the headlights on a lighted road with no license plate light. So no license
I
plate
didn't
light.
even know you needed a license plate light, but maybe that's another thing you need to worry about.
It sounds like Becky in Chicago had a ticket for that. That's not it. Got stopped for the police in a similar way. In a rich neighborhood, someone reported me as suspicious, and they put parentheses, poor. And they sent the police to harass him right away.
God.
That's really good. That's really good self-awareness on her part. That's exactly why they called the cops.
Yeah, I also don't want people parking. If I had a house, I'd be like, hey, what's this person doing sitting in front of my house?
What's this poor person doing sitting in front of my house?
I'm the poor person. Why are they in front of my house? There's a rich person parked in front of my house?
Would you be scared if a rich person parked in front of your house? They'd be like, oh my God, they're going to buy it out from under me. Like, they're just going to take everything I have.
I would definitely be suspicious. Let's see here.
Kelly says she got a ticket for backing into a parking space. I know in Oak Park in the garages, you're not allowed to do that.
What?
I know. You can't back into a spot. It's the weirdest thing.
You can get a ticket for that?
Apparently.
Christy checked in. I think you got a ticket for being parked on the wrong side of the road, like facing the wrong direction.
Yeah.
That's not it either. So, Kara, do you want to divulge what was going on with your son parked and why he got a ticket in his car parked?
He pulled into what looked like to him a rest stop area. He wasn't even sure what this was. He and his girlfriend wanted to have a talk. So they just wanted to go somewhere
Him
private.
and his girlfriend wanted to have a talk.
Yeah. So, they're 18. They don't have their own house. So they got in the car and went somewhere private. And, they weren't doing anything like you're thinking. I see your face. Hey. But they started talking, and a police officer pulled up behind them. And maybe one up front, too, because he said he was blocked in. And he got a ticket because he was on a forest preserve parking lot, which he didn't even know where he was at. Apparently somewhere in Maywood, there's a forest park preserve where he was at. And they gave him a ticket for parking after sunset, after it closed.
Oh, my God.
Like, they didn't tell him to leave, like they could have.
Yes.
And one of them said on the ticket, like I read both tickets. One of them's in my name, by the way.
He got 2 tickets.
He got 2 tickets. One was $100, one was $50.
What?
One was in my name because the car is my car.
Yeah.
And something about knowingly and lawfully parking after sunset. And I read that. And I'm like, lawfully? Then what's the problem? He either forgot to write the UN, so maybe we'll get off on a technicality if we go fight it.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird to me. First of all, I didn't know that the Forest Preserve of Cook County had their own police officers. Like,
so it was a Forest Preserve
Yeah.
police officer.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Like, and I'm sure they're trolling, the area looking for illegal activity happening there. If someone's jumping off a body or, whatever could be happening at a forest preserve after dark.
Yeah, but I'm sure that doesn't happen, so that's why your son got 2 tickets. The cop hadn't done anything all day.
Of all the things,
Well, I can understand the law they have of not going in the forest preserve after dark because maybe they don't want whatever activities happening there.
Right.
But can't you just knock on the window and go,
Exactly.
hey, man, you can't be here right now. Go home.
I mean, when I was his age, they'd knock on the window and say, put on your clothes, leave.
Again, as we've learned, Kara Karavu was very cool and is very cool.
I had a lot of fun in high school, but
That's what I heard about you.
but those were the days when the cops didn't give you tickets. They just said,
You could sleep with anybody in your car and just drive away.
Exactly.
Yeah, those were the good old days.
Yeah, God bless America.
Well, I'll tell you what. So I think absolutely you should fight this. Now, if there's a police officer listening that wants to call up anonymously and give Kara some advice on this, or a lawyer, we have our great friend Jonathan Merrill, who's a divorce lawyer, but maybe he can help
I could
out.
have used him years ago.
He's awesome. He's the best in the business, Jonathan Merrill. But I am astounded. I can tell you, though, that something recently happened to me that I'm mad about it, and it's similar, and I want to know. Again, I want people to check in 312-591-8300. He's sitting in his car having a deep talk with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's come up and given him $150 tickets in Maywood for parking in the Forest Preserve after hours.
Yeah. Makes no sense to me.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So you know what happened to me just a little bit ago? I didn't talk about this on the air because I got so mad I was shaking.
Yeah.
And I thought if I brought it up again that I wouldn't be able to handle it. But I went over, and I'm going to call him out. I'm going to call him out on this, the business.
Good.
Okay? I went to return a modem to Xfinity. They're not the problem. Xfinity is not the problem.
Right.
Okay? There's a parking lot on Belmont and Lincoln near the Xfinity store and Central Savings Bank.
Yes. I know exactly where that is.
Okay. There are signs that say it's Central Savings Bank parking lot. Do not park here. There's small signs.
Right.
But I was running an Xfinity for literally a minute. I parked my car because there was nowhere to park on the street. I said, well, there's no one, and there was no one else in the parking lot.
Right.
Middle of the day. I go in, I come out, and in 1 minute, my car was booted.
Yep.
Not a ticket, booted. I go, I was confused. I go, is this my 2019 Nissan Rogue or is this somebody else's that maybe has all these tickets? And then a guy walks up to me, and I felt bad for him. It's his job just to do it.
Right.
He said, you're in this lot illegally. I go, I was in here for a minute. Usually that's overnight in parking lots where they might boot the car or do something like that. And he said, this is Central Savings Bank lot, and you can't park in it. $170 to unboot my car after 1 minute in their parking lot.
I can't believe they just didn't tow it, honestly, rather than boot it. It doesn't seem bootable.
Well, it
shouldn't be towing either.
I probably could have broke the boot. It was a little shady looking boot.
Because there's a lot like that in Oak Park too, and it's ironically right by the weed store that's now losing money, which is another weird thing. But it's like this parking lot, and the tow truck company really waits for you. So I've learned how to get out of it. You walk into a store that's in the lot, and then walk out their other door, and then go where you're going.
Yeah, I mean,
but
listen.
If they see you go to the other store, you're going to get towed.
I get it. It's not that it's your lot, but there was no one in it. It's the middle of the day, and I was there for a minute. If I parked overnight and you want to tow my car, fine. But I couldn't. $170. Kara, I was shaking.
I don't blame you.
I was literally, and I wasn't going to strangle this guy because it's not his problem. He's just a guy doing that job. I was going to go into the bank and start talking to people. But instead, I had to take a deep breath. Remember, I have a child now, a young daughter.
And you're on the radio. Don't want to damage the...
No, well, I don't care. I called them out. Central Savings Bank. That's ridiculous that you did that.
Well, it's their towing company that they hired, but yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You're getting red.
I didn't want to get all angry about it again, but I can't help it. It's so upsetting.
I fought a ticket in Chicago once too. It was after late at night, and they had all these different signs. One said no parking, one said parking certain hours.
Yeah,
it was confusing.
They confuse a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, I knew I was in the wrong, but come on. I don't know. Anyway, if anybody can help out Kara in this situation, we're looking for. I think you should fight it though.
Definitely.
And I
can't believe it's only in 2 weeks too. The court date usually they're.
Yeah.
But we're going.
I've fought tickets before and made it work. And a lot of times you explain your situation, the officer doesn't show up. And then
I'm hoping that's the case. But I don't know.
Let's see here. Dan's checking in from Aurora. Our guy Dan. What's up, Dan?
How's it going this morning? So I wanted to chime in on this. I got a ticket. This is probably 7 years ago now. I was living 8th and Wabash, South Loop. I got a school zone. This was like a $375 ticket too from a camera, and they cited me at 27 miles an hour on State Street. So me being me, I went to go and fight it. So I think it's on Superior Street. It's like a 2-pew little courtroom. And I got into it with the judge, and he points out this guy with a backpack. And he goes, well, that could be a student. I said, no, it can't, because everybody has a backpack because they all ride the red line going to work in their offices.
Yeah.
And I got like 3 sentences out, and then they had me escorted out of this little 2-pew courtroom.
Really?
And yeah. I mean, and I got dinged for $375 for going 27 miles an hour at 10 a.m. on State Street.
Oh my! And the speed limit is 25.
I don't remember.
Well,
it's either 20 or 25 for the school zone, but it's normally 20 or 25.
Yeah, it might have been even 15 during the school, and that's why they got you. Because I've gotten so many of the speed camera tickets. And look, you shouldn't speed. You should obey the laws, not red lights.
Especially around a school.
Yes.
Yeah.
But where I was at on these speed cameras, I'm for 6 miles an hour over.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying. My car coasts at like that. And I wasn't going. Listen. You should not go 80 in a 40. You know, you shouldn't do it. But I'm
if
going.
You're going 6 miles an hour, you're usually getting passed if you're going 6 miles over.
I'm going 41 and a 35, and you're giving me a $100 ticket.
Right.
Like it's disgusting.
It's State Street in Chicago. I mean, I'm not an advocate of egregiously speeding by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm like, dude, I'm going on. It's 10 a.m. on State Street. The speed limit's normally 30 unless there's children present. It's a middle school that's gated in.
Yeah.
And they're like watching the camera like, well, he's got a backpack. I'm like, dude, he also has a beard. He's not a middle school student.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. It's 8:04. A little late on this, but just a couple minutes away still. About 120 seconds, we'll say. We'll give you those Burt Kreischer tickets, the machine for the United Center. But we're talking about Kara Caribou's in here for Kenzie on her maternity leave. We'll hear from Kenzie actually at about 8:30.
Cool.
Check it in. But Kara told a story about her son got a ticket parking in the Forest Preserve, talking to his girlfriend because it was after hours. But it wasn't that late, was it?
No, I think but keep in mind, the sun sets before 6. So, you know.
And he went there to have a chat with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he got 2 tickets totaling $150 while he was in the car. And instead of just a knock on the window saying, hey, man, you can't be here right now. Get out of here. That would have been nice.
That would have been fine.
That would have been fine. Everybody's just trying to add up these taxes that we just give us. Like, it's really a tax. Because I remember there was something about the city council in Chicago about the speed cameras, which, again, not for speeding, but 6 miles an hour over when you're trying to pass somebody or just trying to avoid something on the road.
Yeah.
It just happens. But they say it earns, I think, $78 million a year for the city. And when they brought it up, they go, well, where are we going to get that money then? Where are we going to get that money? If you have an idea on that, then we'll get rid of the cameras.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, that's a tax.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love our listeners try to help out each other. 773 checked in. We just had a listener call in about on State Street on the South Loop getting a ticket, and it was a school zone. Again, you shouldn't be slow in a school zone.
Absolutely.
But it was a situation where it may have been not the right hours or whatever, and this person checked in to follow up on that guy. I received a ticket for that same camera, presented the evidence there were no school children in the pictures that were taken along with my license plate, and the ticket was dropped. So
that's good.
I mean, again, you should not speed during a school zone. You should go very slow.
Well, you should always contest a ticket. Even if you lose, it gives you an extra month to come up with the money. Oh, that's seriously.
You're right. Just no one has the time to go in, and that's the problem.
You can usually contest by mail, but I didn't see that option on this one. I think we have to go in.
Yeah. Also, Bill checked in. Forest Preserve Police are the guardians of the forest, much like the fairies, sprites, and ladybugs. Thank you,
boy.
Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, no, listen. I'm saying it's a fine job, but how about giving a warning if someone's sitting in their car? I'm defending your son here, Kara.
Thank you.
The best I can.
Thank you.
Also, a girl had a great idea for me that when I got that ticket in that Central Savings Bank parking lot, I want to make clear, when I went to the Xfinity store to drop off a modem, they booted my car, $170. This happened like 2 months ago. I was so mad I was shaking. I was in there for 1 minute.
Yeah.
She said, you should have said you were going to the ATM.
Yeah, but if they still saw you go into the Xfinity store, you still would have gotten
They
the
saw
ticket.
me do that first, so I could have said, I'm here to open a savings account.
Right.
It was too late. My car was already booted.
Actually, that's what you should have told the people at the bank, though.
Yeah, I should have. I
Yeah.
should have fought it, but who has the time?
Yeah.
Right. I love fighting stuff. I've gone to court and fought stuff. Claire's checking in from Chicago. I like what she did when she got a ticket. This is like one of those stories about not all heroes wear capes.
Uh-huh.
And that's Claire right here. Claire Ahoy, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Amazing. So what happened to you?
It is really funny that you said you didn't have the time because that is all I had. It was my day off, and I was parked right outside of the liquor store from Small Cheval.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, everybody goes there to, pick up and leave. So it is the perfect spot for those booters because I went in, grabbed my food, stepped off the property for 1 minute, picked up the food, and there was a food. They had taken a video of me stepping out of the parking lot. And so I said, well, you picked the wrong day to do this because all I have is time. So I sat out there in my car, and every single person that came by, I would tell them, hey, they're looking to boot your car.
Good for you.
It turns out that they are a private company.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they were losing profits off of it, and then they ended up just taking the boot off my car
If you leave and not tell people so they can ticket other people? God.
Yeah, that's the worst part is I was like, I'm still going to stay here and tell people that you're doing this. And they were like, well, do you want to pay the ticket? And I was like, well, actually, it's not really that big of a deal.
Man.
Wow. You are a hero. You are a hero, Claire.
Yeah, but they will unboot your car if you just if you lose profit for other people who don't have the time.
Well, what were you going to do with your day off that you didn't do?
I don't even remember, but I did get some good pictures of them walking off the property too. So
Yeah, really. If they can take
great.
video of you, can you take video of them?
Oh, boy.
Right, they're leaving their car. Like, why is it a problem if I leave mine?
Can't we just be civil?
Yeah.
Come on here.
Right, come on. Like, I get, it's one thing if you're giving somebody like a ticket and you're getting paid, but if you're getting a commission off of people's boots, come on, dude.
And Al Cheval is not cheap. Like the food already, it's worth every penny. It's so
It's
good.
so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I knew we were going to get there with how good Small Cheval is. Some people, Au Cheval and then Small Cheval, they're both good. I mean, they're the
those
same restaurant.
Best burgers. Absolutely best burgers.
Expensive, though.
Yes, but
Very
worth it.
But what are you going to do?
Worth every penny.
What are you going to do? You got to eat and you got to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Here's something for free. Bert Kreischer, the machine. One of the funniest dudes ever. I've loved this guy since the beginning of his career in small clubs, and now he's playing the United Center. Bert Kreischer, the machine. Call up right now, 312-591-8300.
Is it Bert Kreischer or Cage the Elephant right now?
Oh, my bad. It's Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant.
I'm sorry. Thanks, Cage, for running in. Jeez, we got Bert Kreischer at 9.
Maybe they'll do some comedy.
Yeah, they might do something funny. 312-591-8300. Man, it's Friday, obviously. Cage the Elephant tickets for you right now. It's Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, we got our winner of the Cage the Elephant tickets. And to be honest, they could have chosen Bert if they wanted. I messed that up saying Bert Kreischer tickets. Those are at 9. But hey, if they really want the Bert tickets over Cage, I don't think so because a lot of people are checking in waiting for those Cage the Elephant tickets I teased. Well, Bert Kreischer tickets at 9. So great rock band, great comedian.
Somebody just texted in and said, if you don't have a whistle while you're kayaking, you can get a ticket from Forest Reserve Police. That's a
Wait,
new
you need
one.
a whistle when you're in a kayak?
I've always kayaked without a whistle. I had no idea.
I haven't kayaked in a while. I like kayaking.
I do too.
I wish I owned one and I could do it like every weekend.
Yeah.
Those people you see and they're going out there because it's so fun.
It is.
It's a pain though to get the kayak to the water.
Yeah.
And you can rent them. I know that too.
Yeah, well,
but
it's weird doing it in the Chicago River. I don't.
those people go by those huge boats.
Yeah,
it's
they
unreal.
make fun of you. They pour drinks on you. I've been in the kayak when that's happened.
Someone
It's
poured a
awful.
drink on you while you're in a
they're
kayak.
like rich people in a nice boat watching these poor people kayaking. Yeah.
Oh, I wish there was video of that somewhere. You're getting a beer dumped on your head while you're kayaking. If we can find that video, it'll be on our social media very soon. We're going to have Kenzie check in with us here in about 15 minutes with Kara Caravu. That's who's talking right now. Filling in for Kenzie on maternity leave. Gil Curtis, he went nowhere. Here's his headlines.
This is not headline news. The Oscars are Sunday night, and Oscar organizers are promising some surprises for Sunday's show. Fingers crossed that the Best Actor trophy is presented by Cocaine Bear. Harrison Ford says they played the Indiana Jones theme during his last colonoscopy. And here's a coincidence. While the doctors were up in there, they found the script to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. 10% of Americans experience irritable bowel syndrome. Surprising it isn't higher considering we set aside one day a week for tacos. And Carrie Underwood turns 41 today. She's one of the people who parlayed their appearance on American Idol into a lucrative career, like Kelly Clarkson and, well, no one else. This is not headline news.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And for the last several weeks, you've heard different people stop in here. Cara Caravu this week. But this is exciting. Big day. 1 month for Kenzie's baby Marino. 1 month old today. And
He's a month old.
Oh, that's so nice. Isn't that wild now?
Yeah, no, it is wild. It didn't go as fast as I intended. I'm very tired, but
Yeah, people always say it's going to go really fast. Here's what they say, Kenzie, though. They say long days, short year.
I told you that when I started work here, Brian.
Oh, you said that? Oh, you said that.
Do you remember that?
I thought it was Mike Ditka that said that.
No, I told, like,
Kung Fu
I didn't
Panda
create
said
the
it.
saying, but you were like, man, some of these nights are long. And I go, Brian, the days are long, but the years are short. And you're like, oh, it's beautiful. I told you that when I started work. That was my thing.
Damn.
Kenzie, did you come up with that?
No, I'm sure not.
God,
I don't
that
come
sounds
up with anything.
great.
I steal everything.
I think Pitbull said it first.
I love Pitbull's quotes, and you know that. He inspires me all the time.
So anyway, Kenzie, the days are long.
You know
and
what
the
it
year
is?
is short.
You know what it is? I don't know any new parent. The days are like, when I see the sun come up, it's like a horror movie where you feel relief. You're like, oh my God, thank God it's daytime. Nighttime is what's scary and so long. And as I see the sun go down, I just start to get like, I get a little shaky and I get nervous and I get short. And I'm just like, oh my God, no, it's happening again.
Did you give birth to a chupacabra? Or what's going on when the sun goes down?
It's just like at night, during the day, if your baby like freaks out or doesn't, you're supposed to be up, you're supposed to be moving. You can take them outside. You can go for a drive. You can do this. When it
take 'em on a
happens
walk,
at 3
put a
in the
leash on 'em.
morning, you're just like, why won't you sleep?
Yeah, you're sitting there in a dark room.
It's scary. I've actually had the image. Okay, so I don't know. This is kind of like a Latina superstition. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but you're not supposed to let like your baby see their reflection for the first year.
What is
You
this,
ever heard of
Candyman?
I swear to God. And I don't know why.
Parenting books have you read?
No, but I'm serious. It's like an old thing. Like your abuelas used to be like, don't let the baby see its reflection. Okay, so whatever. And because like the belief is that mirrors are like kind of like portals. Like your baby's not ready to deal with that. I don't know. It's like a thing. It's an old school thing. I didn't come up with it. But anyways, all these baby books have mirrors in them, and I've been petrified that it's true. And then I'm like, oh my God, what if he's lost in a portal? And then I'm gonna look down. I'm gonna look down. It's gonna be like this red-eyed demon baby, and it scares me in the middle of the night. It freaks me out.
Well, I'm really glad you checked in.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing okay.
Because it sounds like you needed someone to talk to about this.
I've been so nervous about it, and like every time somebody like pulls up a mirror to show like my baby, I'm like, oh, please don't do that. Like I'm so scared.
Oh, God. Have you seen Candyman, by the way, Kenzie?
I mean, I haven't seen it. I know it was like in the right near Hooker Street is where it took place. What's that? With the Cabrini Green.
Cabrini Green, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought when you said Hooker Street, you mean Hooker like hookers, right?
No, there's like the street over there is named Hooker.
Oh. 'Cause
Yeah.
I used to go by Cabrini Green all the time back in the day before they tore all the buildings down. And there were hookers there, too.
Well, probably on Hooker Street, they're like, this is the spot.
Because you had to go that way to get to the Home Depot on North Avenue.
You've never built anything. I don't think you're going on Hooker Street to get to the Home Depot. Don't lie.
I just browsed. I didn't buy anything to building. So yeah, you're basically describing the movie.
This used to scare. It's like a thing that your babies aren't supposed to see their reflection for the first. It's like an old superstition.
Wow.
And I didn't think I believed it until it was like 3 in the morning. And, I'm like, well, and then I started getting in my head, like, what if my baby is lost in a portal? And then it was my fault.
Yeah,
I
it's a
shouldn't
bad
have
look on you.
busted that book out. I don't know.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We just heard from Kenzie. Had her check in there about seeing her baby's going into a portal somewhere. That's where she's at.
Hopefully you're doing better.
It is weird when you're in your first month. And Kara, I mean, your kids are grown now, but do you remember those days?
Absolutely.
I mean, was it scary?
Absolutely.
I know. All I remember is bringing Harper home now 16 months ago. Tomorrow will be 16 months for Harper.
Wow.
And we get out of Northwestern Hospital, the Women's Hospital. We get on Lakeshore Drive. It's a beautiful day. And I just kind of say to Megan, we've been at the hospital for a couple of days. I'm kind of hungry. How about Jimmy John's? So, yeah, we stop at Jimmy John's. We go home, bring the baby in the house, put her there it's called a dock-a-tot. You lay him in this, it's kind of a thing that holds the baby in a nice little pillowy thing.
Okay.
I actually gave it to Kenzie. She's using it now with her son,
nice.
Marino. We let her borrow it. And then we're kind of like eating Jimmy John's on the couch. We're going, huh. So we got a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Like not much changed. We're sitting here on the couch eating Jimmy John's, but we have a baby.
Weren't you terrified driving home? That was the scary part.
I wasn't too bad there. Leaving the hospital, I got anxiety.
Like, is the seat in right? Are they in the seat right?
Well, they come out at Northwestern and they check the seat in your car for you.
Yeah,
I
that's good.
don't know if they did that where you did it. Where'd your kids were born?
Sherman Hospital in Elgin was the first one. I don't think they're there anymore. The other one was West Monroe Park, West. I was thinking West Loop, West Suburban.
West Suburban Hospital?
Yeah.
It's so scary to think about a hospital that isn't there anymore.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a Blockbuster.
Like, why? What happened? Why isn't it there?
I don't know.
It was a really good hospital, it's just not there anymore. The franchisee closed. And, like, that's a great question.
Chipotle came in. It's just the hospital was never the same.
It's a great observation.
Oh, my God. That's so scary.
If you did anything at that hospital in your whole life, you're thinking, well, did they do it wrong?
Or like if you're there the last year of it, you're going, oh, well, they were using like spare parts at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't getting the best stuff.
You don't feel that way, do you, Kara?
No, they
You're
were
fine.
great to me.
No, the hospital was in its prime when that kid was born. It was thriving. It
They
was,
had like one of the best neonatal care units. She was a preemie, so I don't know why it's gone.
Oh, Brian was a preemie too.
Yeah.
You know, here he's gonna bond with you.
I was born a month early.
Jerry was 2 months early.
If we would have went full term,
Hold
the
on,
doctor.
the daughter was born 2 months early. We can't blow past that. 2 months early is crazy.
Yeah, no fingernails, no eyelids. Yeah,
No eyelids.
yeah. I don't think. I don't remember. Isn't it weird that I'm forgetting?
Case, you may not know this because you were a little hyped up for the lounge last week for Military Gun or 2 weeks ago, but her daughter was there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know,
Oh,
I
yeah,
said
no,
hi.
they met.
Yeah.
She goes to a lot of Q shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's awesome. We hung
Yeah.
out at Twisted Christmas. She's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they just grew in later, the
But she
eyelids?
had eyelids when
Yeah.
I saw her.
Yes.
What the hell?
Are you sure?
I had a whole conversation with Jerry. She's great.
Yeah, she blinked, I'm
Did you-
sure.
I was going to say, did you see her blink?
I
Do you
saw
know?
her blink.
Okay.
I said blink twice if you're in trouble. She only blinked once.
That's good.
So they just eventually grew in and she turned out okay?
Yeah.
Wow.
They let me stay there for free. I mean, it was a great hospital. Maybe that's why they didn't make enough money.
They closed because of you?
I don't know.
We just got text on the text line. 630 said Sherman Hospital is still there.
Oh.
It just moved.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's more disturbing.
Why would you what? How
Well,
could you
buy
move a hospital?
Nicer building. I mean, look at Rush along 290. They built a whole new area.
But it's in the same, Rush has stayed in the same
yeah.
area.
Well, that's
but
because
they
there's
just
not
built-
big empty lots around. They probably would
Yeah.
have if they could have.
What do you do with the people in the hospital when you move the hospital?
They put them in tents.
Oh my God! Was it a FEMA operation? What the hell?
You know, they said everybody in the hospital, go down the street.
Yeah.
Here's some tokens for Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, geez.
Or they give him a bus pass. They're
Yeah.
like, all right, you got to take the 66. It's going to get you to the new hospital.
Yeah, come back in an hour, and the hospital will be over here now. That's what they said across the street, and everybody worked out fine.
Well, I'm glad there's still a Sherman Hospital.
Yeah, good news that it's still there. Some music news here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So the information has been dropped at Lollapalooza. It's kind of like the Grand Theft Auto thing, where it's a tease for a tease.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what that was going to be.
Like we had a trailer, a tease of the game coming out, not the game itself, a tease of a trailer it was at the time a couple months back.
That's right. But now, luckily, the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer is out, and I think the game is out early next year.
Right on.
Can't wait to take some vacation days.
So Lollapalooza 2024, the lineup will drop on March 19th. So just that'll be after our broadcast for St. Patty's Day is next Friday, March 15th. So the following week on that, the whole lineup will drop.
Tuesday, right?
Yeah, and we'll have it all here first. We'll go live with it. And there are some rumors out there of some of the bands that could be there at Lollapalooza, like there always is. But the full legit lineup, like last year had Chili Peppers, Billie Eilish, and Lana Del Rey.
1975.
Yep.
Knock It Loose.
Kendrick Lamar. Noah Khan.
Noah Khan.
Who kind of stole Lollapalooza last year.
I was there with Brian Phillips, History of Alternative Brian Phillips. We watched him play a side stage in the middle of the afternoon on a Thursday, and we thought, oh, he maybe could have headlined Saturday. There were so many people.
Oh, that's cool.
It was awesome, but it was also scary. I mean, just
Yeah.
the amount of people in one area. And my girl Carly Rae Jepsen was getting ready to perform on the main stage, but Noah Khan had so many people at his stage, they were spilling over into what would have been that Bud Light stage at the end of the park.
Yeah.
Oh. There's a job fair Saturday, too, if you want to work at Lala.
That's right.
Yeah, in Inglewood.
That's a good gig.
Yeah,
it is. To get that gig because you get to go all 4 days.
Yep.
And, I'm getting quote fingers working the event. But really, you're just enjoying the music.
But I feel like the staff at Lala is always fantastic.
No, I'm being funny. They are really good.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bitter because, Kara, we get these press release emails like about right now, actually. Have we gotten it yet?
Haven't gotten any press emails yet.
So this is the media pass, so I can go backstage and do interviews and stuff like that. And I missed the email.
Oh, boy.
Well, here's the problem, and I think a lot of people can relate to. Your company, probably like ours, is scared of emails right now.
Yes.
They're all going to be...
If it says external, don't click.
Yeah, don't open it. So I don't open anything anymore. I didn't even know the show was on today. I just got logged on. They said, lucky I came in today. So I'm afraid to open emails at all anymore because I don't want to be responsible for bringing down the network.
Right.
So I didn't open the email. And by the time Lala came around, they go, well, you got that email 3 months ago about your media pass. I'm sure you did and filled it out and everything. I go, I don't think I did. And I didn't. And it was too late. You can't just show up even if people think, hey, I can just say, hey, I'm Brian from Q101.
That was his plan. So, to be clear, we're leaving for Lollapalooza. Like, about to call the Uber, Brian, Kenzie, and I going to Grant Park last year. And I go, well, we've all got our press passes, right? And that's when panic sets in. Brian goes, no, I hadn't thought about it, didn't see an email, didn't do anything.
Wow.
I check with our guy Dan here. He goes, I can't help him. He's screwed. We go to Lollapalooza to check in, and Brian, and maybe if you're a listener, you've seen this when you meet him, he sort of goes into razzmatazz mode. He's like...
Wait.
Jazz hands?
Wait, what's razzmatazz mode?
It's what you do.
It's when I want to completely BS my way in someplace.
So I'm Brian from Q101. Missed an email, but well, what do you say you let me backstage?
Well, I'll even give you a little more info on that. It turns out there was a former intern here that now works for Lollapalooza.
Oh.
And she liked me. So I was like, hey, this is going to be easy. She'll go in there and just take care of it. And we had a great conversation. And then I go, so you can kind of just get me in here, right? She goes, no. I can't lose my job, and you should have put out the email 3 months ago.
Brian, they sent you an email. Did you get the email?
That's exactly. She went into total business mode. She was all cool intern mode for a minute, and then she went through all business. She's a great girl, and she's working there and doing a great job for Lollapalooza now. And
Apparently she is, because imagine how many people ask her.
Yes, exactly. And so I had this. I couldn't do interviews last year. I had to sit outside.
Worked out great for me. Let me do interviews, and now I got a whole thing.
Yeah.
A Case 4 podcast started because I didn't get my media pass.
He probably hid your email.
No. I needed Brian to respond to the email. He just didn't do it.
That's a good... You know what? I think you're right, Kara. I think it was all a plot so you can get a podcast.
Do you know how mad I was at you that day? It was not my grand scheme to not get you backstage at Lala.
I got to tell you. I'm a man of the people anyway. I don't need to go backstage and interview all those bands and their pretentiousness.
Yeah,
I go out there
to do your job.
I went out there and drank, and I had a good time.
Yeah, probably was a great Lala for you.
It was a great Lala. Yeah, I didn't have to work or nothing. So this year I'll keep an eye out for that email. Case, remind me when it comes.
Gotcha.
Because I'm not opening any emails still and ever. I don't want to be responsible for the hack.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.